give people a summary. What's up, everybody? We are live back again. Another movie, another Rookie's First, Falling Down, recommended by Red Gaze here to go check out. And I'm glad that I watched that one. That's like my number 4th or 5th movie now that I've watched for my little binge session for my vacation over here. I already did a video with Angus talking about Pig. Did one last night talking about Citizen Kane. And I watched Buckaroo Banzai as well, but there's a couple people that I want to have on a panel with that, so we're going to get that going probably tomorrow at some point around noon Pacific time. But yeah, this is been quite an adventure. It's about time the Rookie Critic watches movies. I've got a couple down now. I can check a couple off. So before we get into talking about Falling Down, just wanted to kind of summarize my thoughts on the films I already saw so far. So Pig, I highly recommend that you guys go watch Pig. It stars Nicolas Cage. It's like an indie film. It was the director's first movie that he's done, at least first credit as a movie, like as a director, and it's really, really good. I won't tell you guys too much about it. I just recommend you watch it. Don't expect the same Nicolas Cage-isms that you're used to. Just be ready to watch the whole thing. It's really, really worth it. And then I saw Citizen Kane after that. And I had a great conversation last night with Sci-Fi For Me about it. But just in general, I walked away not really enjoying it. I don't know. I found it difficult to believe that it's one of the most recommended films ever. But the way that Sci-Fi For Me was breaking it down was that it was a movie that did a lot of firsts in film. Like, it did a lot of technical breakthroughs and stuff that weren't done before, different techniques that hasn't been seen, and the history with the filmmaker and Orson Welles and stuff, like all that. All of this, makes it that the type of film that's, down in history. But in general, I just I won't ever be seen going, I love Citizen Kane. I could recognize its technical achievements and what it accomplished in film, but I don't know. What do you think about Citizen Kane, if you remember it, Gaze?
That's one of those that I've seen so freaking long ago that I don't honestly remember that much about it. I mean, I think it's highly regarded because of the kind of the commentary, that it was putting forth more so than anything else. As far as technical first, I'm not aware of any of that. I'm not one of those huge technical film guys, but yeah, I just kind of sit back and watch. There's things I'll notice, right? Like, progression of CGI, things like that, or versus practical effects, those kinds of things. But
right. Yeah, I think so. One of the things he pointed out at the time was there's a shot where the camera is on the ceiling or outside of a building, and then goes through it into the diner or something. I forget which part that was, but that was the first time that type of shot was done, I think, and that's been done a lot since then. It's been reused in other forms of media, so that was a good achievement. I think there's a spot in the film where they dug a hole and put the camera through for a even more tall-looking angle or something. There's things like that. Like he said, a lot of the people that worked on the film worked in radio, and there's a lot of shadows over the people so they can talk for the most part and everything. So it's there's a lot of things that are praiseworthy, of course, but it's just not one that I would probably bring up that often. I don't know. Even if I know all the things about it, I just don't know. It's just not one that I want to talk about.
Yeah, well, I think classic Lou kind of has it right there. He says it's not for modern audiences, because it was, I think, pretty groundbreaking for its time. But yeah, its time is way past.
Yeah, and it's again, it's not I'm just a young fuddy-duddy guy who doesn't understand old. It's no, I get it. Like I just said, Pig is a really slow film. There's no mega action, super fast-paced, nothing. Slow burn type of it's a good film worth seeing, and Citizen Kane is just a different one that I just didn't have interest in, I guess. And but yeah, I did one of the things that's, I guess, important about it when he says Rosebud, it's he thought about to the one time he was himself for the most part, I guess. Yeah, and that's fine. I guess I've seen that the type of concept done often enough where people waste their lives doing things they don't want to do. So when I'm seeing it now, it's hard for me to praise it, I guess. But I understand that it came first. But like, yeah, as for like a personal rating, I can't rate it that high. It's just
yeah, and I think like these days, people are much more looking for just like a great story to go along with any kind of like social commentary or whatever else. Whereas back in the day, it pretty much was just about that was the groundbreaking aspect of it, or that was the provocative aspect of it. It was just talking about things that are taboo, or reminiscing on things, or they're trying to make philosophical points. But that just doesn't cut the mustard anymore. Like, you got to mix that in with just more story, more things going on, more things happening.
Yeah, like it's one that I would say if somebody's teaching a film class, and they're trying to teach certain examples and they want to show like the first time it was done, great. That's cool. But anyway, and then Buckaroo Banzai, let's talk about that tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to do that with Mara Jade and Iron Wolf, because they're the ones that recommended that one to me as well. And then now down to Falling Down. I only I think you're the only one that recommended that one, and I was just like, I've never heard of it, but I looked at the trailer. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I kind of want to see it. So,
I recommend it to everybody because it's one of those movies that was, it was filmed way back when, but it like everything in that movie is still relevant today. Like every single aspect of it, like you can totally still relate to this dude, and even the people around him. Like you can, it's totally relatable to this day. Everything remains intact, I think.
Yeah, the film reminded me, as I was watching, it reminds me of other things too. Like, I don't know what film comes to mind where it's just like a guy in a suit and tie, or like, in a white shirt and tie that's going around. But it reminded me of some other films, I guess, where they have characters that do that. But usually they're not in it for that long, of course. But I was like, okay, this guy's the normal guy just doing his office job. I like how they didn't show him doing his job. Like the way it starts, it's just him in his car. And he's got, I didn't know, at first I didn't know if his engine was being all weird, but now they're stuck in traffic and just surrounded by all these people. It's a super hot day. He's under the bridge. They're not moving at all. Just, he's trying to just focus on anything. Like even if we don't know exactly what he's trying to do, you can tell he's just frustrated. There's a fly keeps on bugging him in the car. His AC don't work. His window's not working. Everything's just like, screw this. It's a very effective way to start.
Perfect. Perfect setup. Like you said, like we never even see him at his job, so we don't really get the full backstory of everything that's going on there. But you don't have to, because you just know that dude it's just a day, man. It's that day. It's that time. He's reached his breaking point. He's had enough. That fly was the last straw.
which I'll admit, these days I don't see that type of thing done too often, because usually they'll start, like I think of Wanted, or I think of The Matrix even, or other things where they always show like they take 10 or 15 minutes to show you going throughout their day, and then like, oh, how frustrated they are, they drop their keys or something, somebody knocks over, and it's like, okay, I get that, but that just seems so like it's so formulaic, I guess, to always do it that way. And it's like, this one's like, no, let's pretend we did all that, skip all that, and we're at this point. It's like, and this is where you get to meet our guy. He's like, I'm just going home. I'm like, okay, it's a good goal, I guess. Go home. All right. And I like how every little interactions along the way are all going along that journey as well in some way. I was like, how's that really gonna come back here or something? Okay, how's that really gonna happen? And nope, it does. I thought the car was going to be out of the movie, but nope. It plays a part later as well, which that's a type of like writing technique that I'm trying to get the hang of, where it's like everything that you're having to utilize it for more than one use, essentially. And I was like, okay, that was good. They didn't just have it towed or forgot about the car. That's how they help find out where he lives, essentially. Crucial point. But since you're the one that recommended it to me, just for people that haven't seen the film, maybe that are watching this, you want to run down what the movie's about, essentially, and then we can like talk about it a little more step by step.
Yeah, sure. I'd say it's I don't know. I think I've spoken to different people who kind of draw different takes from the movie, actually. But what I get from it is it's just the story of a dude who has had enough. Like he breaks. He's done. You know, he's all he wanted to do was get home. You know, he wanted to be there for his daughter's birthday. That's all he wants. But somehow, this desire ends up making him a villain almost, right?
Yes.
But and it's just because he got there, man. He got there. He's done with the world. You know, there's all these jackasses around him nonstop, just causing problems, all these unnecessary problems. And I think that's why I think it's still so relatable, because there's, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, there's always some unnecessary problem you're dealing with. There's always someone being a jerk for no reason. There's always just these little things that poke at you and poke at you and poke at you. And this is a story we can watch and say, okay, I would love to have a day like this. Yeah, maybe not necessarily end the day the same way, but you know, it's just it's like wish fulfillment almost. You know, it's just people getting what they fucking deserve.
It's the Joker drawn out.
Right. All the dude wanted to do was go home. Just let him go home.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, that's what was interesting. Because it was like, well, he's not even allowed to be at that home. Essentially, he wants to go see his ex-wife and his kid and everything. And it's like, well, all right, that's not the best idea. She does not want you around. Well, you don't care. You're just like, well, out of all this shit, I want to just see that. I want what I want. Okay. Like,
yeah, but that's what I take the meaning of that line to be when he says, "I'm going home all the time." Is he wants to go back? You know, he wants to go back to where he felt like home was, like not necessarily a place, but a time, right? He wants to go back to when, you know, he was married with his wife and his daughter, and everything was good in his mind. And since that time, nothing has been good since. So he wants to go home. He wants to revisit that. And she just won't let him.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's as I'm watching, I'm just like, okay, like I'm trying to get what he is. I keep on expecting him to like do some ninja moves. I'm glad he doesn't, because he's just like, okay, he is like a guy who doesn't really have those types of skills, really.
It's so much better than ninja moves.
it's just more reckless. It's just like, you know, he's just upset and has, here's a weapon. I'm angry human with weapon. Okay, that's how I'm gonna be. That's how it is. Okay, shut up. And I like how he every situation he's in, he pretty much puts it like, no, you're fucked up. Everything.
Well, yeah. I mean, he enters each situation with a no nonsense type of perspective, right? Because, I mean, really, you know, like you say, he was just taking a rest on a hill. People had to fuck with him. He just wanted breakfast. He was 5 minutes late. People had to fuck with him. He wanted to. Sorry if I'm cussing too much. I heard that.
I apologize. Okay. We can curse here. We're all good.
You know, like everywhere he goes, like he's just trying to do something simple, like a very simple everyday thing, and somebody has to mess with him. So, yeah, man, the soda. Why does the soda cost so much? Come on, man.
It's like, what year was this released? By the way, I didn't look at that.
Oh, you know, I don't remember the exact year. Hold on, I'll look that up quick.
Because when he said 85 cents, I'm like, 85 cents? Jesus, that like nowadays they're like $3 for something, like kind of a vending machine, you know?
1993. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good 28 years ago.
That's 85 cents, by the way.
Wow. No, 85 cents. Oh, oops. My bad. Yep. He does work for the defense industry. Wait, is that what he did?
Yeah, he built missiles.
Oh, okay, right. I guess I missed that part. Because I think he said, did he say at one point he's going to go back to the or I don't know.
It was probably just his appearance and the fact that he's carrying a briefcase.
Or somebody else might have said that. Job. Somebody else might have said that to him and assumed he works at an office or something. I think with that, but that makes sense. But I thought it was funny, like with the. Speaking of missiles, like with the bazooka that he gets, the little rocket launcher, the little kid comes up and says, "Hey, you gotta do it like that. Hey, what kind of movie are you making? Oh, yeah, it's good. Cameras are over there. Whatever. Do that.
Under construction.
Make sure you aim, man." It's like, okay, like that was pretty funny. It's like the kid's just like, "Wow, that was cool." It's just like, oh man, like they don't do that kind of thing these days with kids. They make kids like just I don't know. And they don't make them just common like that. It's like, hey, you just got I know how to work that, of course. Like, why would this kid know how that works? I don't know, but
because of video games and movies, right?
Right. You know, I play Call of Duty. I know how they all work too. Totally. Like I could easily deconstruct a gun. You know, but But no, I like that enough for what it was. It's like just a little thingy on top of it. It's a interesting story. And then do you know the name of the actor who plays the cop that's following him? The guy that's on his last day until he retires, of course.
Oh, Robert. Oh shit, what was his name? Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall. That's it.
I think I've only seen him as like an old man character in every movie I've seen. Like, how long has he been an old man for? Like, shit, that was 1993. That was before I was born.
Yeah, he's been an old man for a long time.
Like, he almost doesn't look that much older than he does in modern films I've seen him in, honestly. So I'm like, what was this?
Yeah, he aged poorly to a certain point, then he aged well.
He's been 65 since he was 37, like, or something. Oh, man, yeah, Classic Lou's got a lot of stuff down here. Yeah, they focus on his license plate. Okay, yeah, I know it says defense. I just didn't know that. I didn't catch what that meant, I suppose, with that. Yeah, I also like ordering breakfast, says Classic Lou. Yeah, I never really got that thing where places just have breakfast for breakfast time. Like, Subway, we have breakfast all day, but our breakfast is just egg omelet shaped things, and then we put other stuff on it. So I guess it's a little more complicated when it's with fryers or something, I assume.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of breaking out the right materials at the right time. You know, a certain time they pack everything up and go to the lunch stuff. But
But I like too how when he gets the burger, he's just like, "Look at this piece of shit. That looks pretty. That looks great, juicy, plump, awesome.
Right.
Look at this. It's great of a thing."
And it's just like every situation he finds himself in, it's like, who can't relate to this? Nobody.
Yeah,
There's nobody on earth that can't relate to this.
Yep, I agree. It's like I like the so like when he's in the shop at first and he's getting the soda, like he wanted to have change. He wanted to buy the soda, so he has change to make a phone call, right?
Yeah,
like that
couldn't just give him change. Couldn't just open the register and give him change.
Yeah, but it's just like, okay. And then when he started to fight the guy, I was like, holy shit, that's a little excessive for this. Like, it's just whatever
you'd
thing.
Think so. You'd think so, but you know what they say, right? Everybody's going through something that you have no idea they're going through, right? So just be careful how you treat people.
And it's just like, you know how much money America gives your country? How much? I don't know. It's probably a lot, I think. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's just going to base stuff here. It's like, is that really what you're focusing on? No? Okay, that makes sense. And then, I thought it was a little odd that he was starting to smash everything. I was like, okay. Yeah, he's pissed off. So he's venting a bit there. I like the guy goes to the police office. He's like, look, he vandalized my area. They're like, who cares? It's like,
yeah, we're rolling prices back.
And he pays for the soda. Yep. Just like, okay, thank you. I like how that almost is what gave him away as being continued, is that he paid for it after he vandalized. He was like, okay, here you go. Then goes to, was it Wackies or Wally's or Slappy's burger place?
Whammy Burger.
Whammies. Something like that. And it's just like he shot up the ceiling and everything, and then he also paid for his burger. It's just like, okay. That's all right. Just checking on everybody. He's like, "Oh, how'd you like the food, man?" Blah. He's like, "This sauce didn't like your sauce, man."
It's like we have a critic.
That was a great reaction. Oh man, and he says it was an Asian conference or an Asian convenience store, and they got robbed too often, and so they required purchase back then. Oh, okay. Well, then that even makes more sense. That's good. He puts the Uzi on the counter. Yeah, all the time. He puts his gun down a lot. And I'm surprised other people aren't like going, jumping forward or something. It's like, nope.
I just like how he constantly upgraded. It was almost like one of those old, 80s games, like video games, where like you just keep upgrading your weapons. Like he starts out with nothing, then he gets the baseball bat, then he gets the switchblade, then he gets the guns.
I can see them if they made a trailer for this. If they made a trailer to like just have little video game sounds whenever he picks a weapon up or something. Like jong jing boom 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 or something. It's like, okay. Doing that, and man, like there's so many moments in this. It's like this is not a movie I would probably just think to watch ever, because it's like how would you describe this movie as like a genre? Because it's not an action movie, really. It's not
probably drama, I would say. Either like it's not even thriller territory. Probably just a drama, I'd imagine.
Like it's not even like mystery solving, because we see all that's happening and then we're just watching the police try to catch up, essentially.
There should be a justice drama genre, and that's what this would belong to.
Pretty much, I think so. And then the whole time he's like, "Yeah, I'm a good citizen, just doing my thing." I liked when he's on the graffiti thing. He's just like, they're like, "Hey, you know what the fuck that says over there? It's fucking graffiti." Yeah, they're like, "No, it's all this shit. Maybe it's in fucking English, and I don't understand what that says." just good responding back right away. And I was like, "Oh man, these dudes are really stupid to piss this guy off." Like, I know he looks like a little nerdy white guy, but all right. And they're like, "Oh, give us the briefcase." Yeah, it's just like the briefcase is worthless, just as lunch.
Nobody knows that.
Yeah, but I love how he puts up a fight for it. I'm like, "Oh shit, fuck, no, run, never run." And he's like, "Yeah, you want the briefcase?" And then it instinctually makes you think, "Oh, what's in that briefcase? What is in there?" Based on the trailer, I assumed that he was like going to deliver the briefcase somewhere. Nope.
Well, I mean, I think what it boils down to is it's all of it is just a matter of principle to him, you know?
Yeah.
It's just this doesn't belong to you. I'm just taking a rest on your hill. You can't have my briefcase.
Yep.
And that's why I think that was one of the most memorable lines. I love that line. He's like, "Okay, you know, I was willing to respect you and just, you know, treat you like a man, but you had to push it, didn't you?"
Now you want my shit? No, fuck you. And like same with the homeless guy or whatever. This man, I haven't eaten in weeks. Except for this right here, or whatever. I haven't eaten in 3 days. He's like, "Oh yeah, I drove down here from whatever. I need gas. No, let me see your license." No, come on, man. He's begging for stuff out of him, and he's just like, "Why don't you get a job?" Just like, like, yeah, that's the American dream fulfillment, I suppose. With that, just some guy who's being dishonest. That's how you treat a vet. You an animal doctor? He's just instantly he's not buying anything this guy is saying. And he's like, "All right," he's like, "How about I get one of those things? You know, I can do it for a week." He's like, "Okay, sure, whatever. I don't need it anymore." Okay, it's just literally a sandwich, apple, and like a banana or something. And it's like, ain't worth shit.
And we've all been there too, right? We've all encountered these a-holes, you know, like, "Oh, I just need money for gas. And, you know, I came here from 2 states away, and I just need money for gas. I got stranded." I probably not run into these people. I don't even know how many times, at least 10 in my life. Just coming out of the grocery store, or whatever. They're just there, up in your face. Yeah, trying to hit everybody up for cash.
They usually think you at least have pocket change after leaving the grocery store or something, right? I assume. And no, I haven't had any of that in my town. But when I went to Ohio to visit my dad, there's at least 3 times where we're parked and people approach asking for money. Like, I was like, "What the hell is this shit?" Like, I have not seen that. They say, "Hey, can I get some money, please? Can I get, like, you know, even $1?" So I'm just like this $1 is gonna, like, you're set now. Like, just, I don't know.
Well, there's two scenarios. There's the people who are completely and utterly disingenuous, just full of shit. You know, they just do this to make money. And then there's you know, crackheads.
Yeah, well, there's
don't actually want that cup of coffee. They just want some cash, right?
There's one dude that's by one of my streets on an intersection. He's a homeless guy. And this is a popular place where homeless people, well, I say popular, it's not like the crowding there, but like every so often you'll see a new homeless person there, essentially, holding their sign up because it's a busy street. And usually they're just holding their signs up, you know, "I'm a homeless, feed me," and all this stuff. But this one guy goes there like at least once a week or something. And I think he is really homeless. I would believe it. But that he like invested in a couple of jars to put the money in. He invested in a little karaoke box, and he just goes on and sings. Like, he's
well, you know, like, that guy's providing a service. If people want to tip him,
he goes on and sings his heart out in there, and then people give him money. And I'm like, you know what? Seeing him do that, and then seeing the other guy sitting down not doing anything, I want to give this guy the money, the guy that's singing, you know, like, because he's at least trying. Like, he's doing something.
Yeah,
he's not just sitting there.
Yeah, that's completely different. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, he's trying to entertain and make money that way. That's fine with that. Yeah. I have a problem with people who just come up asking for money, or there's the SOBs who, I don't know, I've been to Maryland quite a few times in Fells Point, and you have these people who just run up as soon as you park your car and start washing your windshield. Like, I didn't ask
I've
for
had
that.
I've had that at least once or twice on ours. We're like, no, stop touching the car. We did not say
get
you
out
touch
of
the car.
here.
Stop it. Yes, you're trying to do something before you can ask us to do it, and then expect to feel bad to not pay you or something.
Right.
No,
that's exactly the motivation.
Yeah. No, sir. Not here. Not here. Brutal Morning Woods in the chat. What's up, buddy? He says, my dad used to say, in this world, you'll run into two things no matter where you go. One, potholes, and number two, a-holes.
True.
True that, man. And Classic Glue's in here again. Says, yeah, no, get a job.
Yep. Get a job.
Agreed. Zero Option says, people beg at the drive-through. ATMs here. Oh, yeah.
Wow, that would be annoying.
Especially if you're at the ATM, man. Back off. If you're at an ATM, like, screw off, dude. Yeah, but if you're real careful and paying attention, you can avoid the potholes. There's no avoiding the a-holes. Yeah, you go to the potholes, the a-holes come to you. That's funny. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. So this film, it's like, I don't know how I'd rate it or anything. It's like, I enjoyed it, though. I don't know if I'll watch it again, but I'm glad I watched it.
That's one of my favorites of all time. I've been breaking this thing out like every couple of months and just give it a watch again, just because it is so relatable, and like, it's, you know, there's a lot of days where I feel like I might just snap and not give a shit and conduct my day that same way. But I don't know. Yeah, for me, it has never-ending rewatch value. I love that movie.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's like just going through the town, like, it's called Gangland or whatever, the town. That's how they phrase it in the movie anyway. With it, and he's just walking through it like it's nothing, just this normal classic white guy walking through Gangland. And I'm surprised he didn't get jumped more or like get bugged more than what they showed. Honestly, like, I was a little surprised.
Let's be honest. I've been through a Gangland or two, and it's not quite as stereotypical as you'd think. Like, you don't get harassed as much. There's a lot of shady characters. You got to watch your back. But yeah, I'd say he had I don't know. Maybe he should have had a couple more run-ins. Yeah, but it's fairly realistic, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so too. I just thought, based on the like gang guys that tried to shoot him in broad daylight, they all miss and kill themselves.
Some shooting lessons, ass.
I did not expect that to happen. I assumed he was just gonna like duck on accident or something, and then, you know, they just missed. But no, they just missed in general.
He just like, stands there.
Do we get him? No. Okay, like, you know, you could have gotten him, but he's standing still. He's a not moving target. But oh, that was funny. And then the chick's just like, you know, oh shit, you're all like pretty much dead for the one guy. And yeah, the guy shoots at him. He's like, you missed. And he shoots at him. I missed too. And he shoots his leg. Learn how to shoot. It's just like, okay, so our guy does know how to shoot a gun. That's good. It's funny. And then yeah, I thought it was funny the Uzi too. He's like, oh, it's a sensitive trigger. I'm sorry, it's a sensitive trigger. I didn't know it was like that. It's just like little funny things that just, you know, I don't know if some of it was supposed to be all that funny or not. Like the reaction shots from people too. They're just like, okay, this is quite the day.
Yeah. Another thing I appreciate about this particular movie is just it illustrates that pretty much everybody is an asshole, right? Like, there's no classes or races or anything that gets differentiated here. He has problems with an Asian dude. He has problem with Latino gang members. He has problems with I don't know, I'm allowed to say the N-A-Z word on YouTube anymore. I don't know. I don't want to hurt your channel, but
yeah, the white lover.
Yeah, you're allowed to say supremacist, right? Yeah, he has problems with that a-hole. Yeah,
that's a good point. I think about that. They showed a variety of a-holes.
Yeah,
the movie of all the types. It discriminates against everybody essentially with it, which was good. Everybody's a
difference between being truthful and being discriminatory.
Well, no, I know what you mean. And I like too how when he's talking to the white supremacist guy, he's just like, you know, oh, you and me were the same. It's like, no, we're fucking not. We're not at all.
You're a sick asshole.
Yes. I like the dudes. At the end of the day, I'm an American. At the end of the day, you're an asshole. Like, yeah, just like, nope. Man, yeah, this film is just good, guys. Like, I recommend Falling Down as well. That's gonna be it's on a recommended list now here. the show. And that was a surprise one because I have a list already made of films I need to watch. This was not on there. I had that on there because you recommended it. I was like, okay. So it's good. Good pick, Case.
Thank you.
Good one.
Yeah,
Good one.
I thought about it when I saw your post. I thought about movies to recommend, and my mind immediately goes to action and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let's try something more thought provoking.
Yes, and who's the cop lady? The actress.
Oh, I don't know.
I forget. She looks like she's been in other films I've seen. I just don't ever know. She's always like that second or third type of character that's not in the front but is around.
Rachel Ticotin is her name, if I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah. I feel like she was in some other stuff that was more popular, but I don't know. Classic Glue says it's like watching Godfather 2, where at the end, Corleone? What? Corleone. Yeah, everyone hits all his enemies at once while he's at the opera. Such a great scene. Yeah, I haven't seen Godfather yet. Oh, nope. That's not high on my list either. It's lower down on there.
I've never been a huge fan of the Godfather movies. They're okay. They were a good watch, but yeah, they're a little slow for me. Like I like certain gangster films. That's not one of them that I really rewatch too much. I know that's heresy to some people, but
it's like, I don't know, for some of the films that people hail to be classics or to be like really great films, I mean, some I can see what they mean, but I don't know, to expect everyone to enjoy them all, it's kind of odd. Like for all I know, a musical could be the best musical based on all the things they do, the notes they hit, the dance moves, all that crap. I can never watch one and actually give a crap. Like I wouldn't be able to go, this was a good one and that one was a bad one. I'd be like, they're all trash. Sorry.
No, classic Lucy. I was about to say, give me Goodfellas any day over The Godfather. Goodfellas, I really enjoyed. I thought it was awesome, but Godfather is just a little too slow for me, maybe.
Yeah, you don't want to have nothing, no beef or something. Don't want no beef. Is that what he says? No.
Yeah, no beef.
Yeah, what's the next movie on your list to watch? Well, that's a good question. I'll pull up the list here. And I didn't cross it out. I left my actual list at my house. My sister's watching Cats over the weekend. But I do have this here. So
actual cats, not the movie, right?
Yes, literal cats. Yes, literal cats. So I have so far watched Buckaroo Banzai, Citizen Kane, Pig, and Falling Down. Now,
you should really enjoy Kung Fu Hustle too. I think that's a great movie.
Yep, I shall watch that. A couple of these I have at home on DVD that I haven't watched yet. I got Kung Fu Hustle, They Live, Arrival. Something else on here, I think. Is that it? Yeah, Kung Fu Hustle. Yeah, They Live and Arrival, but I did not bring those with me, so I can't watch those until tomorrow or Monday, unfortunately. So it's either Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Master and Commander, Ford vs. Ferrari, Casablanca, which I started, but I wanted to watch something else because I just watched Citizen Kane as well. And I was kind of like, I don't know. I feel like watching something else. I feel like
you probably want to mix up the speed here and there.
I feel like Casablanca will be another Citizen Kane kind of thing where it's like, I can see why, maybe some stuff was fine, but like, I don't know if I'll enjoy it. It's hard to tell so far.
Yeah. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was good. The movie, not the TV show. Again, some people will call that heresy. I don't care.
Yeah, I think that the show. I think that the show Angel was pretty good. And I've watched some episodes of Buffy, which are different. Their tone, I don't know. Like some bits maybe are fine. There's probably good moments in the show, but as far as I could tell, it was very corny. It's a little hard to watch. A little bit.
Yeah, well, it could be too because Christy Swanson's in the movie, and she was like a childhood crush for me. So, watching that turn into
right, Sarah Michelle Gellar, of course. But like I've heard from Mahler on EFAP and stuff that like he's a huge fan of Buffy, but he will admit that there's a couple seasons that aren't that great, but you got to go through them to get to the good stuff. That once you get to a certain point, then it starts to, you know, even watching the stuff before that wasn't good, when you get to the better seasons, then it's more worth it or something. But there is even seasons later that aren't all that great. Like even an Angel, like season 4, I think, was awful. I think they have like Cordelia. She's more of a Buffy cast, but becomes an Angel cast number 2. She like gets some demon god thing pregnant with I don't know. It was weird arc. That I'm just like, I hate this arc. This is stupid. Like
that's where all of those shows, those supernatural shows, start to lose me. Once everybody's like getting pregnant and then having like these half-breed offsprings and weird shit going on. Like Supernatural is kind of that way too. Not necessarily with the pregnancy so much, but just I don't know. Anytime the character, like when death becomes meaningless, I'm no longer a fan. I don't give a shit. Well, you know, because you have characters who could come back from the dead constantly, and I just can't take it.
Well, hold on. So I think that if sometimes when characters come back from the dead, it can be beneficial, but it really depends on how they make that happen. And if
it can yes,
because I think that sometimes resurrection can improve that character in a way, or add, you know, be another step in their arc that works. But it really, again, it depends. If it's just it return and all is normal, that does irk me too, because it's like died. Something, you should be changed in some way, I think, after that, or people around you be different around you know what I mean? Like that your resurrection can disrupt what was around. That I think that can be to a benefit to, you know, the viewers watching the show, because it's not just, oh, la-di-da, we got him back, we're all good now. It's like, no, that's different. I feel.
Yeah, too much death and resurrection totally derails any story. I don't care what it is. Like you said, if it has meaning behind it, if it serves a purpose, fine. But once you've done it, don't do it again. If you do it again, make sure it serves another purpose. It's a different character, and it's way in the future.
My example is Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Have you seen Dragon Ball Z?
I've seen a bit. You probably don't want me to discuss that because you might get upset.
No, I don't get upset when people don't like certain things I like. That's fine. I can see why some people might not like some of the stuff, but I'll just use an example with Vegeta, because he's basically, you know, he's a warrior race. He's a son of a king, and instead of just taking the king mantle, he just keeps the prince title. That's fine. But he's, you know, a ruthless killer essentially, and he loses a fight on Earth big time. He kills, you know, they kill a lot of people too, and, you know, if it wasn't for intervention with other people, he would have defeated his opponent. And he leaves, you know, battered, beaten, comes back, and that was his first huge defeat in a long time, and that already starts to change him a little bit. He starts to think a little bit smarter when he's attacking people that are higher than him. He's like betraying the people that he's worked for essentially, and he's learning a lot, and he ends up in the end of this bit, he does get killed. He's like, you know, on the ground, the guy that he's been serving under, you can see him as a Darth Vader figure, Frieza. He's supposed to be like a Darth Vader kind of, it's what he's inspired by, I think. And he's just like torturing the crap out of him. And then the guy that he fought on Earth is, you know, one of his race as well. And, you know, once Vegeta dies, then that guy will be the last one left. And, you know, he himself, like, you know, saw himself as being the one that's going to avenge everything. He's going to be the strongest one, and he is about to die. And so he tells him everything that happened and everything. And this guy's controlled everyone. He wiped out their whole race, pretty much made them practically extinct, and is, you know, wanting him to win. He's given him all his thing, and he dies. And then he does get resurrected afterward at some point, and he comes back, and he starts to slowly realize there's other ways to have strength, and that there's, you know, he does form attachments to somebody, has a kid, and he's still kind of an asshole and everything, but he is changing. He's not the same as he was before. And his death, I think, helps benefit his character a bit.
Yeah. And that can happen. That's really a pet peeve of mine. It's poor storytelling. It's a poor plot device. And like I said, like you said, and like I said, like it's here and there. If it's beneficial.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, especially like with Supernatural. they're an example of how they bang your head with how many times they kill characters and bring them back to life. Like,
it's ridiculous.
I have no worries because y'all come back somehow.
No big deal.
Yep.
Brooke, give me like 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay, sure. No problem. Classic Glue still over here. He's asking, did I like Pig? Yes, Classic Glue. Angus and I did a 1-hour stream yesterday morning discussing Pig. I recommend, if you did not see it, that you watch it, man. That one surprised me on how well done that was. Like, I really enjoyed that. One of Nick Cage's best performances, I'd probably say. Yeah, he says, which Arrival, the one with Charlie Sheen or the newest one? Or I don't know what the story is with it. I think it has the Amy Adams, that Arrival. I have no idea what it's about, really. Angus recommended that one, so I'm going to watch that one. No one has. Just kidding. Nope, you're good. But yeah, so I'll be watching The Arrival with Amy Adams. That one. Angus recommended that one. We shall see. Classic Glue says, yep, Cage was so restrained. Yeah, exactly. But it restrained in a good way to his benefit. But yeah, as far as characters being resurrected, yeah, that's a topic that I definitely want to make a video about one of these days, because, when I guess the statement of resurrections, are bad, I don't necessarily agree with, but I do agree with the majority of the time they're done poorly.
Right.
They're done poorly, or if they're done excessively.
Excessively is what I have the biggest problem with.
Or like if they treat it, like, it depends if it's like a gag character that's kind of, they're allowed to die often and they come back, but it's like nothing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't care because you expect it. Right. Or like Deadpool or something. Like, he practically dies all the time and comes around. Whatever, he's back. That's fine. But if they treat it like, oh no, they're dying, or they could die, and and they cry when, they're dead. Oh, but we have the magic
season finale.
But we have the magic stone that we can bring him back. Okay, he's back. Yay! It's like, that's dumb. Or no, I have to sacrifice myself to bring them back. Which that could be a good resurrection thing. But then the person comes back. No, I have to get you back. We have to do it some other way. And then it's like, no, stop doing this. No.
Well, that, and they keep, sometimes they keep dramatizing it afterwards. Like, absolutely nothing has changed about my character, but it's so dramatic that anytime I am in a weird mood for any reason, I'm going to go back to the sympathy ploy because I died 7 times. Shut up. Nobody cares.
Which would sound dumb. I think in Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Arrowverse thingy, where like all their shows were combining for some crap, they were like, I think like Arrow died, and they were like, oh no, he died again or something. Like, it's like, huh? And they're like, let's just go to purgatory and get him back. I was like, what? And the whole universe is like, the whole multiverse of everything is being destroyed, but they're like trying to resurrect him. I'm just like, huh? And then everything gets destroyed. All the Earths are all gone. All the universes are all gone. But they're in like 4 different locations after that are like purgatory. You can totally be in purgatory and you're fine. You're in the place outside of time and space. You're totally fine. You can be in the beginning of time or some crap. I'm just like, what? Right. I don't know how. And that's why, like with Loki also, like, they're in like, we're out of the universe normally.
Yeah, nothing matters.
Huh? Like, okay. Like, but yeah, how am I supposed to care about your stakes when you're pretty much state that there isn't any stakes?
Exactly.
It's like, okay. It's kind of hard to get in there, but
yeah, that's why it bothers me. What I recommend to most writers, all writers really, is if you intend to kill a character, first of all, make it meaningful, make it worth something, and also make sure you have at least 1 or 2 characters that can fill in that slot permanently. Because even if you do bring them back, people might not like them as much because a lot of people are really, they're tired of that same old, we're just going to bring them back to life crap.
Well, I agree. Well, it's kind of like with movies in general. Like, can you let a franchise be over? Can you let one be done?
Right.
Same with characters.
I agree with that too.
Like, because when characters are gone, you tend to miss them. When they're always here, they have a tendency to get annoying after a while. Or you just go, still around. You died like 4 times, right? Okay. Or no, you almost died 4 times, but you're just, I don't know. Like, that also depends, too. Like, I'm okay with characters, nearly dying sometimes, but sometimes they make certain characters almost die often to a point where it's like, I don't know, you keep on pulling them out of there. And
Yeah, they're
sometimes it
never,
makes sense,
never
sometimes it
really in
doesn't.
any danger.
Yeah, that gets really annoying. It's like, okay, I don't really care anymore about what's going on over there. Or another pet peeve I kind of have is like when they'll show characters like surrounded by something, they'll cut away to something else, and they'll cut away, and they're like not in that same danger anymore. It's like, how'd you get out of that? Like, you don't. No, they did, because look, but you didn't show it. I know.
Yeah, those are kind of the worst, actually, because that's really lazy writing.
like if you were to show somebody running to go off of a cliff, and let's say there's 2 people, and the one jumps, and they don't make it. Obviously, it's like nothing, and then you just cut away, and then you cut. They're on the other side now. It's like no, how? That's it's just don't nitpick. It's just a little thing. It's like.
That's a pretty big thing.
This is what allows the story to progress, and the writers put in the roadblock. Why is that the roadblock if they don't have a solution?
Right.
Like,
now, the only time I'll forgive that kind of a scenario is if it's like a double cross type thing, and they say they got out of it when they really, we're not really in any danger to begin with, because they were pretty much on the same side with the people who they were in a situation with. So that I can forgive, because that's it's more of a twist, and that's okay. But yeah, just saying, oh well, I dealt with it, or some throwaway line, like, I don't know, like I used the the ultra cool machine thing that I have.
I'm wearing Jordans. Of course I jumped it. Like,
right. Get out of here with that crap.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, last night when I was talking to Sci-Fi For Me, we ended up talking about, like, we only talked about Citizen Kane for like maybe 10% of the 2-hour stream, but it was a good bounce point to other stuff. But like, one thing that came up was silent characters. And then I was thinking, like, how many films or shows have like a silent protagonist? Not a silent character, but like a protagonist that doesn't say any words. It's kind of interesting to think about, because that'd be a challenge to make, but I think can happen.
Yeah, that could be done. That could definitely be done. It'd be a lot more difficult to do in maybe a book than in a movie, but it can be done.
Of course. Well, like, because I was thinking of, I think in Willy's Wonderland, Nick Cage again, I don't think he says any dialogue. I have to also check if he does, but I don't think he says anything, and I like that. I was like, you expect Nick Cage to have all these, one-liners or something, just some weird quotable thing? Nothing. He doesn't say nothing. And some people might be wondering why he doesn't say anything, but it's like, I don't know. Does a character have to speak? Just my thoughts sometimes. Like, do they have to?
I don't think so. I think some of the most powerful characters don't speak. But you got to do it right. It's got to be done correcally, or else.
I agree. The concern was that it could be somewhat of a gimmick. Like, why isn't this character talking? I would agree if it's like if they were to talk, it would make some type of difference. But if they're, I don't know. I feel like if you give enough hints without spelling it out for them, then I think it could be done well enough. Like, if they look, kind of. If they're set focus on something, if they have some type of detail on them that doesn't spell it out for you, but gives a hint of maybe, okay, so he's got, he's drinking a lot. So that's something that's going on that causes him to drink, but he doesn't talk. He's skilled in this type of thing. He can fight. So he's skilled in that. So he's either been trained in something, or he's had you can start to piece together the character without them telling anything about themselves. Right. And at some point you might be able to realize why they don't talk. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. Did the people in The Quiet Place talk? I mean, they do use language, I guess. So
yeah, that movie was kind of forgettable to me, and I haven't seen the second one. Yeah. I think it's mainly due to the fact that when that was released, there was like at least two other movies that were pretty much the same premise released also. Yeah, well, so they all kind of blend together to me.
Honestly, I could never watch The Quiet Place without ripping it a new one, because it sounds like I can't suspend the disbelief that these aliens took over the Earth, because like they hunt by sound essentially, right?
Right.
Just gets Burt Gummer, you know, he could kill them all. Like, I don't know. It's like, you know, you set a little toy car with dynamite or a sniper, you know,
Ninjas.
you use a noisy distraction. Easy as pie to me, seems like. I don't know. Doesn't seem hard to kill them.
Well, it's easy to say when you're not in that situation, rookie.
I guess, but then you look at their situation and it's like they have painted little footstep thingies where to not make noise, but how do you do that without testing where noises are? You know? Like,
yeah, then painting on all that wood would make noise too.
Yes, and it's like, you know, just breathing makes noise whether you hear it or not, right? Like you'd think, or some type of vibrational thing. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I guess it depends on the degree of their, you know, their sensitivity.
And it's like, how do they know that a stick isn't food? Or, you know, do they always, oh, what was that? You know, or would they go for it if you faked them out? Like,
and sometimes dead twigs just fall out of trees.
I just sometimes I think for that type of premise they could do a little better. I don't know, a little more convincing. But I know.
You would think.
Watch the movie.
You'd think all you need is one good thunderstorm, and you could just wipe them out, right?
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, "Oh shit, I can't, nothing. I have nothing. I can hear everything, but nothing."
Them, right?
Like, yeah, you would think, or you know, that's the thing too. Have an airplane go by, like that's loud, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Just circle helicopters,
or like the sound of an explosion. Would that not like be so, like really painful to their ears because it's so loud, or something like high pitched noise, dog whistle, like ow, my ears, fuck you.
Well, the rookie, I think you're gonna have to write a letter of dissent to the.
Get my quill and ink. The writers of The Quiet Place. This is abysmal. Nope. You must be fired and strung up till you write something better. That would be funny. Classic Glue says, in Arrival, aliens are behind global warming. I have to watch this. Is that really what they do?
Well, at least they're not blaming, you know, rich white people for a change.
Angus said it's good. I'll see if that's true. We'll see. There's an Arrival 2? Is there? First one sucked. I don't know if there's more than one. What's up, Will Gentry? It says, just for the record, Falling Down is a fucking epic film. Yes.
Heck yes.
It is great. Yeah, we talked about that more for the first half of this, and then just kind of talked about film stuff a little bit later. In Willy's Wonderland, he made a deal with the filmmaker to be in the film if he did not have to speak, and rented him a fancy car.
I'd go for that deal.
And he got to drink a bunch of purple stuff, so, you know, why not? Got a sweet deal out of it, I'd say. And that's the thing, too. Like, so he's a silent character, but a lot of other characters are yapping the whole time, you know? And so it's like, okay, it makes sense for him not to talk, but... And his motivation just seems to be he was told to clean this building out, and then he can get his car fixed or something, and then he's out on his way. If he's getting attacked by animatronics, he don't care. He's still doing the job. Whatever. Oh, that's good. But yeah, I don't have much more to say on Falling Down. I enjoyed that one. That one was good. I have no idea how to rate it as on a scale. I enjoyed it. Recommend you watch it too.
I wouldn't steer you wrong.
Yeah. It was good. Yeah, it has an ending I didn't expect entirely. I was like, oh, that's what happens? Okay. Cool. But though I did kind of see it coming when he was holding the water gun a little bit. I was like, they set that up really well. I was like, he's going to have, when he said, I have a gun, I'm like, well, it's the water gun. Of course, it's not really going to do it. And he says, you know, I can have my kid get my insurance or whatever or something. It was like, oh, yeah, you're just going to, if you realize you're the bad guy in this, that's bad. You got nothing else to do. You hate everything anyway. Just let that be it, I suppose. And yep, the epic end. You know, your last day of retirement and whatever. The cop decided to not retire, right? He's like, nah.
Yep.
Yep. Makes sense. You know, it kind of makes me want to watch Lethal Weapon again. I have seen all the Lethal Weapon films, and yeah, it's made me kind of want to watch that again. I want to see some old Mel Gibson and whatnot.
Yeah, you know, I should revisit those too. It's been a while.
Those are the fourth one. I don't know if a lot of people enjoyed the fourth one or not, but I liked that one too, especially at the end. You know, they're the two old cops, and they're fighting like Bruce Lee or Jet Li or something. They're fighting a super ninja guy, and it's like, man, this is gonna be tough. And takes their combined stuff to stand a chance against this guy. It's kind of like that type of a thing. But yeah, man, Falling Down, another one checked off my list. Good one to watch. Any last words on it, Red Gaze?
I'd just say if you haven't seen it, you're missing out. What are you doing with your life?
Yep. Listen, she's like, Bruce Lee. I don't remember who it was. Okay, it was one of the fighting guys that wasn't Jackie Chan. Okay, that's my metric. I don't know. He says Arrival is from 1996. What the Amy Adams is 2016. Yes, I'm doing the 2016 Arrival. Then Classic Blue. Bruce Lee has been dead for decades by that point. How am I supposed to know? Everybody references him all the time. For all I know, he was still alive today. I don't know. Like, people aren't sure. People aren't sure about Tupac. Who knows?
Damn it, Ricky.
Jet Li. And see, how am I supposed to know what Jet Li? Like, obviously Bruce Lee, and then Jet Li. I don't know. Okay. I've only been into films for 5 years, like as much as I am. So some details have been mixed up. It was Jet Li, you doofus. Well, thank you. Thank you for the correction, Will. Thank you for the correction. Now I know. And now hopefully I'll remember that and not forget. He says, Bruce Lee was the best and was murdered. Like in real life, he got murdered? Yeah, murdered in real life, or?
Oh, you asking me?
Yeah. Well, he said he was murdered, and
yeah.
Like I don't know. Guess he couldn't stop those bullets. Oh, was that when Jet Li kill him?
That was a joke in poor taste, considering what happened to Brandon Lee, rookie.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. Do you think Jackie Chan's got any juice left in him?
I think he's got some juice, but I don't know. Jet Li's kind of old hat, or Jet Li. Sorry, Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan's kind of old hat at this point. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jet Li is too, for that matter. Like I want to see some fresh Asian folks coming out here with some kung fu.
That's good, very good. Yeah, Jackie Chan. I feel like by now, I don't know if he could do the fight scenes anymore. Like,
he probably could. I think he's still in pretty good shape.
He might have to do it Miyagi style, where it's like, they wah, wah, wah. Just
stand and defend.
Yes, just stand still, and I'll put my arm up. You hit my arm, and then I watch-ah you. There you go. Jackie Chan's 67 years old. Oh my God, no!
Wow, yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Did he teach any apprentices, proteges to carry on the acting, martial arts mastery? That'd be great. I think he's past his best, but he'll still be in good shape for someone who's nearly 70. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
He can probably karate chop his own hot dogs, That'd be cool.
Is that a thing? Are people karate chopping their hot dogs out there?
I'm just referencing SpongeBob
and
at that
it's
point.
Kung Fu, by the way. He's very passionate about that. Kung Fu, Rook.
Okay. Semantics. It's martial arts.
I'm actually amazed that he was in the Karate Kid reboot.
Yeah.
And he was teaching the kid Kung Fu. So it surprises me that he didn't force them to call that like Kung Fu Kid or something. Because if you've ever heard him speak about it, like he is very passionate about Kung Fu versus karate, because he gets pissed when people mix the two.
Did they make it specific that in the film he's teaching karate? I don't remember if they said the type.
No, they made it Kung Fu in the new one, but it was still called the Karate Kid. Which made no sense at all.
So it was called the Karate Kid, but he was teaching Kung Fu.
Correct.
And he called it Kung Fu.
He called it Kung Fu, yes.
That is interesting. Wow.
Really
I think
stupid.
What's funny, I think people wouldn't have hated it as much if it had a different title.
I think you're right. Yeah, if they would have just altered it a little bit more and gave it a different title, I think you're absolutely right.
I find that often lately is that sometimes people say films are bad, but it's like, well, okay, let's pretend that they didn't have that name or something for their character. Now how's the film? That's pretty good. And I'm
That's
like, well, hold on.
absolutely
I'm like, wait a second. What? Like the name is what made the difference?
Yeah,
Like,
just look at the new Fantastic Four, the newest Fantastic Four movie. Like it was, I mean, this Fantastic Four, it was dog shit. But it might have been interesting if it was, you know, something else. Like if they were trying to present it as a new IP, it might have hooked some people in. But man, that was not a Fantastic
I mean,
Four.
I don't know. I feel like regardless, it's very wonky in how they told the story and tried to make sense. Like, you know, how the scientists were surprised that they're not going to go to space. Like, well, yeah, that's usually what happens. Like, are you retarded? Like, scientists? Okay, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes, like with Spider-Man or something, like, you know, no Uncle Ben in it. It's like, but what if, or like, you know, for Peter Parker, his character, what if in this new Spider-Man's he wasn't called Peter Parker? Would it be good now? Like,
Well, I guess if it was Miles
Morales,
maybe.
Like, I'm just curious because it's like I understand the adaptation may not be as good in comparison, but like,
yeah, well, there's definitely
quality would still be good. It just isn't.
There's definitely still enough of the, you know, enough of the trademarks there to make it recognizable as Spider-Man, whereas the Fantastic Four, no, not at all.
Right.
just superpowers.
Yes. That's what happens when they back up a dump truck full of money to your house.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's when you let them call your kung fu movie The Karate Kid.
Yes. They wanted cash in nostalgia, though. For the Fan 4 stick. Yeah, of course. But that's what we were saying. Like, if they didn't call it, Fantastic Four, essentially, didn't have those characters, would that be a better film, essentially? Removing that. I just wish that, I don't know if that many people think about that. Like, I was having a conversation with Angelus about Civil War, about Captain America Civil War. And at some point, it basically, he kept on referring to the comics, about the comic Civil War. And I was just like, so what if they didn't call this Captain America Civil War? They call it like Captain America to Winter Soldier. I don't know. Like, they just pretend there's a different name. or call it Captain America the Sokovia Accords or something. Like, would that be better? And he's yes. And so I was like,
that's a mistake they're making. And I've heard a lot of people say similar things like, oh, well, that, you know, that sucked as a whatever, but if it were its own thing, it might have been okay. Like, I hear that a lot, and I think that's a lot. But yeah, what Will says is exactly what they're doing, is just trying to cash in on the nostalgia, cash in on the names, and then do whatever the hell they want with it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree they shouldn't. I agree they shouldn't do that.
If they didn't go that direction, I think they would make more money, to be honest, because they would make something that would grow its own following and would, you know, become a mainstay. But no, they keep trying to take the easy way out, and they keep getting what they deserve for it.
Yeah, like, I think they keep getting what they fucking deserve.
Exactly.
Like, I think if they called Captain America Civil War, if they called that Captain America the Sokovian Accords or something, yeah, I think that a lot of people wouldn't be thinking about the Civil War comic at all and just see this as it was and be like, okay, that was great or something. Like, because that seemed to be the main
that was the main contention
there. And it's like, same with
I actually didn't mind Civil War. I thought it was all right. Again, for what it was, I thought it was okay. Like, I mean, that was the best portrayal of Spider-Man so far, the best portrayal of Black Panther.
True.
That was a pretty decent flick. I know a lot of people had problems with it.
It's worth breaking down. I would agree that, like, Zola's plans seem kind of odd, but when I'm looking at it, like, his plan doesn't need to go specifically as things happened in there for it to work still, I feel. Like, you know, he didn't have to get to the Winter Soldier at these specific points to have certain things work. I don't think some of his plan is weird, but as far as the other stuff that happens in it, I think was done pretty well. Like, the fact that the discussion of should the superheroes be, you know, controlled or not by the governments, I think that's a reasonable question, especially when there's so much collateral damage, or they show the Hulk jump on a building to fight Chitauri, but then debris hits down on people, essentially. Like, you're you're trying to save people, but you're also being very sloppy about it. Like, you know, we're not, if you're your own agent, we can't make you do better than that. You know, can't make you train to learn how to do the same situation without the collateral damage. So,
Well, okay. Let's be real here. When government gets involved in anything, it's 10 times worse than what it would have been to begin with. So, government getting involved in the Avengers would have done nothing but make things worse. It probably would have caused more collateral damage. There would have been death all over the planet. There would have been governments collapsing.
I agree, but the conversation would still come up, and the goal that people would want out of it would still come up. But that was the reason why Cap didn't want it to happen, was because regimes can be corruptible. He saw that himself when he was all for helping SHIELD until he realized Hydra was there and corrupting it essentially. And people in it, like Fury's option of the Triskelion, he did not like that idea of the Triskelion. He wanted to make his own choice. So I think that's why it's a good point for discussion still, because if in America, if I were to have a superpower all of a sudden, would you expect the governments to be like, okay, that's totally fine, bro?
Oh, of course not. But it's just, it's typical government overreach. Of course, they're going to want to control you any way they can, and not just control you. They're going to want to experiment on you. And
but I don't think that every section of the governments would want to do that either. I think that some would have some type of right thing in mind, and others don't. So it would be that kind of double-edged sword of, okay, there's a positive with a whole bunch of negative. Okay, if I were to go now, I could save them, but I have to wait for your approval for it or something. That seemed to be how they're doing it. Was that they weren't going to experiment on you a whole bunch. It was you have your faction, the Avengers, but we'll tell you where to go and when. Was basically how they presented it in there.
Well, if you recall, and this is something that I think was completely realistic, another Marvel movie that a lot of people didn't like that I enjoyed, Iron Man 2. It's, of course, the second Tony Stark came up with that technology, the government wanted to seize it. And that's totally realistic. Of course, the government's always going to want to take your shit, and they're always going to want to control you. I think that's why, even though I'm a huge Iron Man fan, I was on Team Cap for that one, because fuck the government.
Well, and that's what I liked about the movie too, because the two characters' perspectives from where they started are completely different now. But it makes sense. They don't just go, "Oh, silly Tony, you're so dumb for wanting to do it that way." It's like he literally is looking. He's like thinking he's trying to help. His whole fear was that ever since he saw that his weapons were in enemy hands being used to kill Americans, that that's something not good. And then he sees this woman was like, that her kid was lost in Sokovia, which was directly caused by him, essentially. And he's like, I didn't even know about that. And there's he just gave all this money to people to help them with the university and everything, but there's still the people that were lost amongst this. And I feel like that hit home for him with that. And they show, he's looking at the stuff that they've done, and it's like, we're beating the enemy, that we're not the cause of it, but we could be doing a better job at it. So for his perspective, that does make sense that he chose that, to not just go, it's for this. But then Cap makes a good rebuttal to him too, where he says, you made the choice to stop doing the weapons for your company. It wasn't the company's choice. You made that choice. And so that, even though Stark has a good reason to be a little more controlled, he wants to have a little more, I guess he wants to feel more responsible by doing what people want him to do, because everybody hates him essentially. Instead of doing what he wants to do, he wants, okay, I'm going to help you based on what you guys want. Then,
I can see both points of view in it, but what I also see, because I see way more than I want to in everyday life, is Tony is also a multi-billionaire, and they tend to snuggle up to government quite a bit and pretty much be able to do whatever the hell they want anyway. So the benefits for Tony would far outweigh benefits of somebody like Cap, somebody like Spider-Man, even though he was on that team. But you know what I mean? Like he had endless benefits there, because he would pretty much have free reign regardless, just because of his social status.
Well, and both of them, it does make sense where they would be, because Cap has the position of like, nobody should be able to stop me from helping somebody. If because it could be, there's a problem going on over here, but that's not our problem, so don't worry about it, Cap. And Cap is like, I don't ever want to be prevented from helping somebody. So
right, and that gets into the whole argument of rule of law versus no rule of law.
Well, and there's a lot of back and forth with every point that can be made, and and that's why I like that type of thing, because especially in the Marvel movies, that type of discussion doesn't really happen. So to have that in one film, it was like, good. Whether or not they think the villain's plan is great, that's sideline crap to me. Like it's this whole discussion, and the fact that how that whole thing came about with the Accords was with Crossbones, whatever, was going to blow up right in front of all those people that were all right there, probably a couple dozen people. She tries to quickly obtain them, shoots them up in the air that's next to a building, and takes out like 11 people. Like, she was trying to do something good to save people, but accidentally ended up, some people still got hurt, essentially.
Yeah, well,
accidents
happen.
Well, yeah, exactly. But tell that to another country or somebody. If that happened to Americans and foreign soil, accidents happen. We'd be
when you're dealing with supervillains, where a lot of people are going to die one way or the other. It becomes a little bit more muddy.
I agree, but that's why it's not cut and dry either way. It's like something. Yeah. How can you be prepared to do this next time? You have such superpower. Why couldn't you have stopped that better or something? It's interesting.
And I actually disagree with that point, Will. Your next point. I think both of their decisions came from the heart, to be honest.
Yeah,
and Tony seemed like it was a little more of the head, but I think it was mainly from the heart.
Yeah, I think that's important. There is that they at least, whether or not either point is really good, both of the characters stand by their point. And I do like how Tony's decision was already made, and then Cap was still kind of feeling it out, but he wasn't really feeling for it the whole time. They both, in a way, already had their minds made up, but he wanted to hear what everybody was saying, and he's just like, okay, well, you made that choice. That's fine. You're allowed to, but this is what I'm doing. He didn't tell anybody to go on his side or anything. He was just like, I can't join that, pretty much. And people joined him regardless, pretty much. But not even to side against the courts, but to side with Cap. So
and that's the interesting part is both sides have their good points and their bad points to them. Because yes, we absolutely need some type of rule of law, but the problem is the people overseeing that rule of law sometimes become a problem in and of themselves. Yeah,
see, I would put it, if it were me, I would want to do if I were to be in that world as their government or something, I wouldn't be like, oh, we get to control the Avengers, but we have laws changed a little bit or new laws added because there's superhero people around. Like, if you get a superpower and you do something here and there, you're trying to help somebody, but you're not. See, I don't know. That would be a part of the thing. I think that's what they actually do in the comic or something. I'm gonna say, like, if you don't make yourself known, but you're using your powers, you could hurt people on accident with your powers. You got to at least let us know. And it's like, if we catch you, we're gonna arrest you. But we don't know how to deal with you. You can hurt a cop. I feel like there's a big whole thing that can happen with that kind of thing. Like if I were to,
well, yeah, you got your Vax card.
Well, I don't know. It brings up all these questions. Like people think,
you want to be able to go do fun stuff.
That kind of goes into the whole mutants thing too, I assume, because they are like, okay, I have the right to not have anything bad happen, to have you just know everything about me. But then it's like, yeah, but you also have the power to blow up a city. So it's a tough one when it's with people, when it's with identities.
Yeah, well, and I think that was kind of the whole point of it too. To make you think, because there's often, more often than not, everything's a shade of gray. There's very, very, very few things that are actually black and white.
Yeah, when it's like with the vaccine thing, of course, it's annoying how they're trying to force it onto people when it's like you should be able to choose to get it or not. And I think that even if, let's just say that the vax is just simply a vax, there's nothing else with it. Unfortunately, the way if it is forced on people, then it's a slippery slope to worse things being forced on people too. If you allow this for your safety, what else are you going to give up at some point?
Well, it's that whole argument. I don't know. I've always been of the mind that if you have to force something on somebody, it must not be that good for them.
Yeah, I agree. Classic Glue says, "I'm sorry, Tony was a sideline boy, a sideline playboy. Obadiah was the one benefiting from the government back deals until Tony stepped in and to control."
Initially, yes, but at this point in time, I think
right.
if Tony wanted to grease those wheels, he definitely could have.
Yeah, but which is just still good for how they came out, because he started out as a solo boy and not wanting to do anything with the government. And right. Cap was I follow orders from the government. And then
yeah, kind of flip flop there.
Yep. Tony's choice has heart in it, but it's got more logic in it too. I don't know. See, Caps has logic in it as well, I would say, because like I was saying before, he doesn't want to be prevented from saving someone's life at some point. He doesn't want everybody to talk, and then maybe you can do it, and it's too late. Or something.
He's looking at pure freedom versus limited freedom.
Well, and then also, okay, hey, Cap, there's some problem over there. We want you to go deal with. There's these bad guys, and so he goes and takes them out. Turns out they were, rebels in some sovereign nation where the people are being mistreated or something. You know what I mean? Like they could be misused as well, right, being under their control. And I think that would make sense for Cap to even think that, because in Winter Soldier, they're sent there to save SHIELD agents from that ship, but then also Natasha's there to do other stuff. He's like, what is that? Was that the reason why we're here? You told me this is what we're doing, but that's really what you're doing. And, do these people really matter here, or was that more important? But you told me when I wanted to hear to get me to go. And it's
that's an excellent point too. Yeah, because there's tons of black ops that nobody ever knows about that are just totally shady and dirty, and it's all government related. And they could absolutely be misused and not even know.
Yeah, we're on the the winners make the history essentially. So that's even more the case. Cap is too black and white in his opinion of what's right and wrong. Tony, however, has had the means to make the choice and make difference utterly, and he always avoided collateral damage. Always, I don't know about that.
I could say, I could agree with the fact that he always tries to, but that's what I'm saying, man. In a world of superheroes and supervillains, it's impossible to avoid collateral damage.
Right. Well, he does try to, and the whole point of Ultron was to try to prevent collateral damage. The whole point of him was to try to protect the Earth, but misstep in the design and other stuff happened, and it ended up causing a lot of deaths. So, his heart may have been right in it, but it also, he made a choice that did cause people to get hurt, which is why in Civil War he is like, he feels guilty as hell on the lives that were lost, and he thinks that he needs to have somebody else. Maybe at this point, maybe he shouldn't just be able to do whatever he wants. How he does, because he sees that there's more flaws in it than he used to see before.
Yeah, it's kind of a decision of guilt, right? Which is
yeah. I agree. Unlike Hack Snyder and his murderous don't care Dark Man of Steel, who caused untold billions of damage. No, I agree. Yeah, Stark always to a degree has tried to minimize collateral damage. Same with most of the Avengers, but their main example, I think, was the Hulk. And they're like, where's the Hulk? Oh, you don't know? Where's Thor? This God man with a hammer? You don't know? Huh. That just they just come and go. If I lost a nuke, I'd be screwed. Like, it's like, that's kind of a good point. Like you have if you have a weapon like that, I don't know.
That's the same. You're looking at human beings as a weapon, or gods, or whatever, as guardians, sentient beings.
The question too: would it be bad to have Thor have to go through a check-in when he enters Earth, or not?
Technically, he's full on illegal.
That's what I'm saying. That'd be interesting. I think it'd be interesting if they made a film where Thor after Endgame were to go, I want to say a more dark path, but for what he thinks is a better purpose. Like how Loki was like, oh, you're doing such a good job with the humans. They slaughter themselves in droves and you sit back, you stand idly by and stuff. Like if you were to take that line or something and go, okay, I'm going to do it right. Kind of, it's not the same way like Injustice. Injustice was more, he got way crazy. He goes, okay, how can I stop the slaughtering of humans? Okay. He goes and tries to do some other type of things. And, some heroes are doing something. He's like, nope, not doing that. Okay. Get out of my way. Just something. And then eventually, it starts going a little more aggressive than it should be or something. I think it'd be interesting to see him try to I'm going to be the leader of Earth now. I'm going to be the leader of Midgard. And it's like, oh, dude, okay. You're kind of relieving the governments of their control a little bit, aren't you? No, not. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he could do something there, but not doing it. But not doing it like Injustice, not like that, because that went its own little fan fiction-y way. Anyway, check out new Nick Cage's film "Prisoners of Ghostland" in September. Oh, he's got another new one coming out. Jesus, I'll check that out. I will check that out. Hell yeah. Will Gentry, Thor. I thought that said Thought for a sec. I'm not wearing my glasses. Thor
That's
going.
what you wanted it to say.
Thor going through interplanetary customs would be hilarious. Yeah, it's like every time he comes to Earth, he's got to wait in line. He's got to, like, check in. Yeah, I'm Thor, God of Thunder. Just got to making a quick stop to check on my girlfriend and got to leave or something.
The Rainbow Bridge always leads to customs.
He can't just teleport where he wants. He's got to teleport right to the office building or something. They have a whole spot for him for the rainbow crap to go, essentially. It's like, okay, anybody from Asgard, Bifrost, whatever, gotta teleport there. And that way you're not just anywhere you want. We know we're not tracking you, but we know that you checked in. That's all.
That might have saved him a lot of grief with Loki.
Yes, that would have been funny. It'd be funny to see. That would be funny for Loki with that if they somehow were to make a magic crap thing where it's like any Bifrost, whatever, or something just like goes right to customs, and he's like, "What is this? Gotta go through customs, man. What are you doing? We're not gonna track you, just checking you in. Loki is here. Okay, cool. Guy who destroyed New York. Oh shit! Wait a second. Hold on. No. No security. Fat cop comes in. What? Just take this man away. What? You can see or you see Fat Thor come up. Hey, brother. He's the security guy. Thor's the security guy at customs for interplanetary guests. That'd be funny. We talked for 20 minutes about Civil War, basically. This. Oh boy. Yeah, I just hope that they are as efficient as they are in Men in Black. Yeah, maybe. I need to get going. Have a good one, Jeff and Gay. Stop by my channel. If you got some time, laters. No problem, Classic Glue. Thanks for coming by. Thank you, Will, as well. I'll wrap this up now here. Keep on making these go longer than the movie itself, or like through the conversation about the movie. But yeah, check out Falling Down, guys. That's good. I'm not sure which one should I watch next on my list here. Let's see
I'm biased. I still have another one on that list.
One that isn't on DVD that's on here. Which one should I watch?
Not on DVD. With Blade Runner, if you haven't seen it, I think that's a good one.
Blade Runner. Okay, I might just do that.
I was gonna say or Kung Fu Hustle, but that's on DVD.
Yeah. Blade Runner, man. I've always avoided that one just because I don't know. It's the hype thing where it's like, is it really good?
Yeah,
really?
I wasn't too fond of the long distance sequel. It was okay, but it wasn't that great. But the original Blade Runner, yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I guess I'll give little Blade Runnery.
Yeah, Taxi Driver's good too.
Yeah, I'm curious to see that one in King of Comedy because everybody says that Joker seems to be highly influenced by those, and I don't know. Sometimes we'll see. We'll see. I know that Robert De Niro's in all of them, but I don't know if that counts as mirroring it. But yep. Yeah, you guys have a good one.